Most people who modify their first car never make it past the second year. They run out of money, or patience, or both. The car gets sold, the tools go into a box, and that is the end of it. A very small number never stop. This is what that looks like, all the way from the beginning to the end. Level 1. The Garage Tinkerer. You are 16 years old and you have $800 saved from 2 summers of weekend work. The car is a 1998 Toyota Corolla with faded paint, a rattling exhaust, and a driver's mirror held on with electrical tape. You did not buy it to drive to school. You bought it to take apart. One bare bulb overhead. A concrete floor that gets cold in October. You own a socket set missing the 10 millimeters. And you will notice, across the next 20 years, that every socket set you ever own will be missing the 10 millimeters. And a floor jack from a hardware store that wobbles when fully extended. First modification. A cold air intake. $180, 5 weeks of research, 3 hours of installation that should take 45 minutes. You strip a bolt and spend 20 minutes with an extractor and feel briefly like an idiot. When you start the engine, the note changes. Not dramatically, just enough. Something shifts in you that is not going to shift back. That is where every serious tuner begins. Alone, in a cold garage, with a car most people would give away. Level 2. The car meet regular. You are 18, and the Corolla has been through stages. Coilovers you spent 3 weekends fitting. New wheels. A front lip you painted yourself, off by 2 millimeters if you measure it, invisible if you don't. The distance between what you imagine and what exists is narrowing. Car meets arrived 6 months ago. A retail car park on Friday evenings, 60 vehicles, and the specific culture that forms around people who modify machines. The first time, you parked and sat in the car for 4 minutes before getting out. A man with a wide-body R32 walked over, looked at your build for about 8 seconds, and told you your wheel fitment was wrong in a way you couldn't see yourself. He wasn't unkind about it. He just said it clearly. You drove home and studied the car under a flashlight for an hour. He was right. You'll spend the next few years understanding that the people who tell you what's wrong are far more valuable than the people who tell you it looks great. Level 3. The track day driver. You are 20, and someone at a meet invites you to a proper circuit day. You go expecting to discover how fast the car is. What you discover is that you cannot drive. An instructor rides with you for 3 laps and says almost nothing. Afterward, he gives you 3 corrections in a flat, neutral voice. The voice of someone who is trying not to make you feel worse than you already should. You are braking far too early. You are losing all your corner exit speed. Your hands are tense, and that tension is traveling through the steering column into every single input you make. You are not controlling the car. You are arguing with it. By the final session, you are 2 seconds a lap faster and have not changed one component. The car is identical to what it was at 9 a.m. You are not. After that day, every modification has to earn its place through data. Brake pads chosen for heat resistance at sustained load. Tires chosen for contact patch, not branding. Weight removed from anywhere it does not earn its presence. Performance comes from understanding the problem before you spend on the solution. Level 4. The Serious Builder. You are 23 and the Corolla is sold. The money, combined with savings and a loan you will pay back slowly, goes toward a turbocharged Subaru WRX. All-wheel drive, factory-forced induction, and an aftermarket ecosystem large enough to build something serious. Every modification connects to the next one now. The turbo is upgraded because the factory unit cannot flow enough air above a target power number. The injectors follow because more air demands more fuel. The intercooler follows because compressed air gains heat. Hot air loses density, and density is power. The system has a logic. You understand the logic. At 16, you changed parts because they looked impressive in photos. At 23, you changed them because the physics requires it. You tuned the engine management yourself for the first time. 2 weekends to learn the software. The first time you log a pull and watch the numbers respond exactly as the fuel table predicted, something in your understanding changes permanently. The ECU is not a black box anymore. You are inside it. You will never look at an engine the same way again. Level 5. The Known Name. You are 26 and you have a reputation in the regional scene. Not famous, known. Posts get shared. People you have never met recognize the car at events. They also start calling you. A friend's turbocharged hatchback has been through 3 different tuners and still pulls rough under hard acceleration. You spend a Saturday with a laptop and a wideband sensor, working through it for 4 hours. You find a vacuum leak in the boost circuit so small it had beaten every tuner before you. The car runs cleanly for the first time in 18 months. Your friend is relieved. You drive home and realize you are not tired. You are just alone with the next problem someone will bring you next week. Diagnosing is a separate skill from building, and it takes longer to develop. Building is knowing how things should behave. Diagnosing is pattern recognition earned from seeing enough failures to read them on site. You have seen enough. Other builders bring you what nobody else will touch. You rarely charge for it. The knowledge itself has become the only currency that interests you. Level 6. The professional tuner. You are 29, and you are doing this for money. Consistently for money, which changes the work in ways you did not expect. A small unit, a 2-post lift, a shared dyno 12 minutes away, 6 ECU platforms on the laptop, a 3-week waiting list. You take the platforms other shops turn away. Older engines with thin documentation, forced induction on chassis never designed for it, ethanol conversions done properly from injector sizing to final map. The hardest moment of this level has nothing to do with tuning. A customer brings you a car that 2 other shops already touched. You put it on the dyno, and within 40 minutes you know the engine cannot be saved without being opened. The previous tune ran lean under boost, in a way that has already scored the cylinder walls. You have to tell someone that their $4,000 of previous work left the car dangerous. They do not want to hear it. You tell them anyway. You lose the job. You keep the standard. That distinction is the whole of this level. Level 7. The respected shop. You are 33 and you have a proper shop. 3 bays, 2 lifts, your own dyno, 3 employees. 2 of them you trained from near zero. They are good now. One of them is better than you were at his age because he had someone to correct him and you had to discover everything the hard way. Cars are transported hours to reach you. A build you tuned holds the class record at the Regional Time Attack Series. You teach now. Workshops at the shop. Technical sessions at events. The knowledge that took 15 years to accumulate moves through other people in an afternoon. What you do not talk about is what the 15 years cost. The weekends, the evenings, the relationships that ended quietly because you were always either in the shop or thinking about the shop. You have not decided yet whether any of it adds up to the right answer. You are not sure that question has one. Level 8. The legacy. You are 38 years old, and the car in your shop is going to hold a world record. You know this, because the math has been verified 500 times, because every component was chosen without compromise, and because you built the engine yourself over 7 months, not because no one else could, but because no one else would know it the way you do. On record day, the car runs clean from the first attempt. The time falls. When the data confirms it, you feel something quieter than you expected. You drive home without posting anything. You sit in the kitchen. You think about a cold concrete floor, a wobbling floor jack, a socket set missing the 10mm, and a Corolla held together in one place with electrical tape. The distance between that moment and this one is almost impossible to calculate. The logic connecting them is perfectly clear. Every level followed the one before it. Every mistake became part of the knowledge. Every car taught you something the one before it couldn't. Somewhere right now, someone is starting a modified engine for the first time and hearing the note change. They are going to feel something they cannot name yet. They will not stop there. They almost never do. If you are one of them, subscribe. There is more where this came from.